Hey guys, what's up? My name is Gabby. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to be doing the Boujee Booktuber book tag. I don't think that I was tagged to do this, but like, has that ever stopped me before from doing a tag? Nope. So basically this tag is kind of about questions about like your money spending habits on books and like how much money you're willing to pay for books, things like that. So let's just jump right into the questions. Question number 1 says, what is your monthly average budget for books? And to be honest, I don't really have like a budget for myself because like, to be honest, I'm not a huge spender on books, if you can believe that or not. Like I would say like on average, I only buy 2 to 5 books for myself on average every month, which isn't a lot to me, it seems anyway. I mean, at least like when I order them off of Amazon, they're usually only about $10 to $15 each. So it's like, I guess my monthly budget would be like $50. Actually, in this last month though, like in the month of October, I spent quite a bit on books. I think I spent closer to like 100. But on the average, I'm not a huge spender on books. Like I'm actually very grateful enough to receive a lot of books from publishers and have working relationships with a lot of different publishers. So I'm very grateful and very fortunate enough to not have to spend so much money on books, because I feel like if I didn't have those relationships going on with publishers, then yeah, I'd probably be spending a shit ton of more money on books than I do. So I'm very grateful that I have that privilege. Number 2 says, what's the most you've ever spent in a bookstore? Again, I am very, very frugal with my money, and I don't think I've ever gone into a bookstore and like dropped so much money. Like I think the one time that I did that, I went into Barnes & Noble and I bought 3 books, and I felt like so guilty because I spent probably around $70 because I got 3 books, and then I think I got a really nice journal from Barnes & Noble, and I spent close to like $70 and I felt so guilty. I was like, oh my god, that's so much money. Anytime that I'm spending more than like $50, like I start to like freak out a little bit, even though it's like I know I can afford it, but I just get so like, because I'm very frugal with money, so spending money kind of like gives me anxiety, at least when it's like a lot of money at one time. Like I have to think about it for a while, you know? But I feel like online it's different, because like if I'm just adding books to my Amazon cart, then like sometimes it's like, okay, like, well, this book is only like $5 and like this next book is only like $10, and you know, it's just like it can add up a lot easier online because I'm just online shopping. I don't think I've ever made an online purchase either for more than like $100. Like again, I'm just not really a big spender. Like I just freak out when I'm gonna spend a lot of money and I don't do it, I back out. Number 3 says, are you willing to pay full price for a brand new release, or will you wait until you have a coupon or there's a sale? I think most of the time I'm willing to wait unless it's one of my favorite authors. Like if it's something like Christina Lauren or like Taylor Jenkins Reid or like one of my favorite authors, then like I'm gonna buy it the day it comes out because I need it. But like if it is one of my favorite authors, I will go out the first day and like buy the book, because if they're one of my favorite authors, then like I need their new release like immediately, you know? Most of the time I do like to wait. Like I am not the kind of person that will just like go to Barnes & Noble and like walk around and buy books, because then I would probably be broke. And so I like to go, like I usually only go into Barnes & Noble when they send out those like 15% off coupons or something like that, because then that'll be like, okay, like I could justify it to myself, like, okay, you can get 1 book because it's 15% off. I don't know, I guess like, yeah, the only exception to that would be like if it's a must-buy auto-buy author for me, then I like need it that day. Number 4 says, would you rather buy 1 new book or several less expensive used copies? I would much rather buy a bunch of used copies. Like I have no issue at all buying used books. I actually love going to like Goodwill or Value Village and finding a bunch of really great deals on books. Like I want to say at least a half or more than half of the books that I have bought myself have been bought secondhand at like used bookstores, just because it's so awesome. Like you can find somewhat new releases from time to time at Value Village and Goodwill. Last year I was finding 2018 releases at my Value Village and I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. And it kind of gives you that like same feeling of being in Barnes & Noble and like going through the bookshelves, but you don't have to pay as much. It's great. I don't know why people like would have an issue with secondhand books, like unless they just think the quality won't be as great, but like most used bookstores sell books that are in like nearly perfect condition. So number 5 says, what do you think is a reasonable price for a new hardback book, a paperback, or an ebook? I think for a hardcover, like I always cringe if a hardcover costs more than like $18, which is pretty standard for like young adult hardcovers are usually about like $18, and then adult hardcovers are usually like $26 to $28. So like I personally never buy adult hardcovers like in the store. Like that's just way too expensive in my opinion. So if I am gonna buy like an adult hardcover book, I'll usually order it off of Amazon for slightly cheaper, but it always makes me cringe if I'm paying more than like $18 for any book. Like that's just expensive to me. But I think for a paperback, I'm comfortable with paying anywhere from like $10 to like $16 is usually the most that I see paperbacks going for, even though that's like more on the expensive end in my opinion. But like that's why like some of the self-published authors, like I know Mariana Zapata's, some of her paperbacks on Amazon are like $22 to $25, and I'm like, holy crap, that is so expensive for a paperback. So that's why I don't own a copy of The Wall of Winnipeg and Me, because I was like, that's way too expensive. Like I'm not paying 25 bucks for a paperback, you know? And then ebooks, I feel like ebooks should be significantly cheaper than paperbacks because like they're digital and they're just not the same as like holding a physical book. And like the physical book, I feel like you're paying for like the printed book, right? Like that's what costs so much about a book. I mean, I don't really know these things, but I feel like they should automatically give you a copy of the ebook when you buy the physical book, because it's like you know, with DVDs, like they give you the digital version of the movie when you buy the DVD. It should be the same shit. Number 6 says, is a signed book worth more to you or a first edition? Honestly, no. Like I know a lot of people like really care about books being signed by their favorite authors and stuff like that, but I honestly don't super care about stuff like that. Like I know that's like not very common, I guess, among book lovers, but like I wouldn't be willing to pay more for a book just because it's signed. You know what I mean? Like I don't really care about a signature on a book. Like it doesn't really make a difference to me. I mean, I guess if it was personally signed, maybe that would be different, but like I've never gone to a book signing ever. I've never gone to like any like author events like that. Like I'm just not that kind of person, I guess. And because like they're never in my area, and if they are, like it's too expensive usually for me to go anyways, so I don't know. I just don't really care about getting an author's signature on the book. Number 7 says, what is your most valuable book, sentimental or actual value? I don't think I have any books that are worth actual value, you know what I mean? But I think the most valuable book that I have for me is my ARC copy of The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, because I was so freaking beyond stoked when I got this ARC a couple years ago, and I read it so fast, and I have all of my like original like tabs and thoughts in here when I read this, and there's just something so special to me about having an ARC of one of my favorite books of all time. Like I didn't obviously know it at the time that this was going to be a favorite, but I already was a huge fan of Taylor Jenkins Reid when I read this book, so I felt like it would be a favorite, and it was. Like this is now my favorite Taylor Jenkins Reid. But this ARC is also really nice. Like for an ARC, like it has like textured cover, and like it's really nice. I also really love my special collector's edition of Fangirl. Like I don't know why, I just like, since this is one of my favorite books of all time, I just love having the like cute drawn stuff, and like I did make some notes in this one when I reread it for the 3rd time. The last one I'm going to show you is my copy of A Little Life. This is like one of my favorite things that I own, and like one of the books that's the most special to me, because I read this book and I literally made notes on like almost every single page, because this book just like really affected me, and it was like one of the best reading experiences that I've ever had. And since this book is like 800 pages, it's just so nice to have a copy that's just totally like marked up, and I will never be able to find this exact copy anywhere else in the world, so I really cherish this copy. Number 8 says, will you pay more for a cover or edition that you like better? And the answer to this is actually yes, because I'm a basic bitch. I really love aesthetically pleasing covers. Like an example of that I have is actually The Humans by Matt Haig. This one is actually the UK cover, but the US cover is so gross that I went onto Book Depository and I got this cover instead, which I'm so excited that I did, because this cover is so much cuter in my opinion, and since this is like one of my favorite books of all time, I'm really glad I just went ahead and got this one. And I think this one was actually like almost the same price as the US edition, but I definitely would have paid more to have this pleasing of a cover because I love this cover so much. And I think in any case, like, I'd definitely be down to pay just a little bit more to have the cover that I want, because covers are important, okay? They're sitting on my bookshelves and I want them to look beautiful. Number 9 says, what physical characteristics does a good quality book have? I know some people like prefer paperbacks or hardbacks, and like honestly, like I don't really care like either way. Like I definitely love the feel of A Little Life because it's like super floppy and it's a paperback and I love that, but I don't really have a preference. I feel like I really like the standard size like young adult hardcovers as well, like because I love like taking off the dust jacket and just like reading a hardcover novel as well. Like I don't know, like I don't really prefer paperbacks to hardbacks. Like I'm not really picky. The only thing I do hate though is like the deckled edges of a book. I really don't like that. That's the one thing that kind of drives me nuts. And then number 10, the last question says, if you won the lottery, what bookish things would you do with the money? I would probably, yeah, get a house that I can build like a library into and have like, not like the kind of library that you're probably thinking of, but just like a cute room that would be dedicated to a library. Like I've always wanted like a room in the house, like how most people have like an office in their house or whatever. I've always wanted to have like just a room that's dedicated to reading, that I can have like a nice desk in the room, like to do some writing maybe someday. The room would like overlook either a city or like a lake, or it would have some kind of view. And then it would be like a cute library in there. So I would just have a bunch of rows of bookshelves in there and like a cute little reading nook. And that would just be the dream right there. Like that would be goals. So I think also if I won the lottery, I would like to build some kind of public library like somewhere. Not that we don't already have a lot of public libraries. Like we definitely do. But I mean like somewhere that would be kind of like a little library, like you know those like little libraries that they have that you can just go and like switch out books, something like that, but like on a bigger scale, like an actual room building. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, that is all I have for this tag. So let me know what your thoughts are on spending money on books. Like let me know your answers to some of these questions, because I'm actually really interested to know, like, do you have a monthly budget for yourself when it comes to book spending, or do you just kind of spend some money here and there? I'm not a huge like budget person in general, so that's probably why I don't have like an actual like number budget. I'll just like notice sometimes that I'm like, whoa, I think I'm spending a little bit too much money on books, and so I'll stop for a while, you know, but I don't have an actual like number budget for myself. So do you guys do that? Let me know. And again, like what are the qualities of your perfect book? Like, do you really like the floppy paperbacks? Do you prefer hardcovers? Let me know that as well. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye!